Today we have one of the most entertaining train wrecks I've seen in a long time as MAGA cult member Nancy Mace went on CNN to discuss Trump, Kamala Harris, and it went downhill pretty fast as they called her out for her unwillingness to go against that cult mentality, leading to some hilarious moments of which I have lined up for us to check out.
Trump injecting Vice President Harris's race and then suggesting that she's not actually black. Why is he doing that? Should he stop?
Well, I mean,
Yes or no?
I didn't hear him say it. I didn't hear what he said about her race. I am not going to weigh in on her race. As a woman,
He did say it.
Okay, well, as a
definitely
woman,
said it.
I want
She
to weigh
turned black,
in.
he said. He said she was raised Indian. Now she was Indian, all he knew. Now she
Well,
turned
she's a
black.
mixed race, right? She's a mixed race.
He said that to the National Association of Black Journalists.
Right.
He went to, and he said at the same event where he said he'd done more for black people than any president in history.
I guess here's the thing.
When he was president, wages for women were better than they've been in a long time. Wages for blacks were better
The
than they've
lowest
been in a
black
long time.
unemployment rate in
He
history.
did.
It
He
happened
did a
under
lot
Joe
of
Biden.
good. He did a lot of
Congresswoman,
good
let me just finish this
for
to both
people
of you.
from all walks of the
This
country.
doesn't take that much courage, honestly, to just say that was out of bounds.
I don't know what he said. I didn't see
He
the
said
Come
that
on,
she
come on.
turned black. He questioned whether she was really black. I don't think that's that hard to say. That's out of bounds. Can you say that?
I mean, I didn't say it, and I would not
just
say
say
it.
yes. Just say yes. Just
All
say
right.
yes.
I just
Guys,
said
we
it.
Then
are-
they connect that
we
to your
are-
inability to
I'm not-
pronounce her name.
we are out
Now
of
it's
time.
it's a very...
We are out of time.
It's a cult. They won't say anything that
I'm
goes
not in
against
a
the cult.
cult. Are you
Yes, you
kidding?
are.
This is absolute cult mentality. There's no other explanation. It's an easy answer. Yes, he was out of line. No, he shouldn't have invoked her race. You don't have to say, I'm not going to vote for him. You can say, yeah, he was out of line. I'm still going to support him. But she can't even do that because to be in the cult, you can't say anything negative about Trump. That's like the main rule there. If you do, or even so much as just not agree with him, you're no longer Republican. Look at Bill Barr. Look at everyone else in his administration that wouldn't go against it or go with his 2020 election fraud plot. Liz Cheney, Mitt Romney, any Republican that says name Nancy Haley, DeSantis when they ran against him. It's literally any Republican that won't bow down and kiss the knee. And for Nancy Mace, she of course wants to stay relevant and in power, so she can't admit when Trump says something egregious. But wait, there's more.
Kamala's.
You had it right. You almost got it.
I will
You
say
almost
Kamala's
did
name
it.
any way that I want to.
No. That sounds like self-hatred and justification of white supremacy. And let me just say this, because this Congresswoman is a wonderful human being, but when you disrespect Kamala Harris by saying you will call her whatever you want, I know you don't intend it to be that way. That's the history and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people.
Oh, so now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say. I just said
that
you
is
weren't a
BS.
racist.
That is complete
No, you don't have
BS.
to intend racism
No,
to
no, no.
accomplish
You are
it.
intending that I
Your
am
disrespect
racist,
of Kamala
and
Harris
that is
part and
offensive.
parcel of a
Why can't
tradition
you just-
of disrespect.
Why
It's
can't you just,
offensive,
Congresswoman,
and it's,
why can't you
it's
just,
offensive.
why can't
That
you
is
I'm not calling you a
disgusting.
racist.
No,
I'm
you
saying
are.
what the
You
practice
are.
is
You
racist.
are. You absolutely
I'm
are.
saying the
You're
practice is
way
Let me-
racist.
let me
get into your
No, what's disgusting
That
is
is
your
disgusting.
disrespect of her.
Professor.
This gentleman said,
You know what?
I didn't know her name.
Disgusting
He's
to
trying
women
to do
is
it.
her disrespect of women. She doesn't know what a woman is.
Like, what are you even doing here? She mispronounces her name and then says, I'll say it however I want and I'll do it again. Like, who does that? Why would you not just apologize and say her name right and move past it? You can take some accountability. It's not a big deal. And this professor is exactly correct. This is the history of disregarding those different than you, refusing to say their name right, as if they don't deserve the respect or as if you don't care to learn their culture. This is one of the footholds of white supremacy. I'm better than you, so I don't have to pay you that respect. And look how defensive she gets because she knows that she looks stupid. I think she thought it was going to come off as like cool or abrasive or something. And she's just like, well, Kamala doesn't know what a woman is. Like, what? Kamala is a woman and has been one her whole life. What relevance does this have to you mispronouncing her name? It's just a sad attempt to distract and obfuscate by falling back on generic MAGA talking points rather than taking any accountability because, again, MAGA can never do that.
When you see him direct such venomous rhetoric against this woman, not principled disagreement, do you find that problematic? And if you don't, you've helped normalize a practice that is vicious and misogynistic.
Look,
regardless. Women can be
Well,
misogynist too.
let me let
Now,
Congresswoman
I am a
answer
woman who
that.
has broken a lot of glass ceilings, and I have fought my way to have a seat at the table, and I wouldn't back someone that I thought was a misogynist, and I fully backed Donald Trump in 2020.
All right, I want to.
Right, he's totally not misogynistic. He just talked about grabbing a woman you know where and doing whatever you want with her without even having to ask. He just sexually abused a woman and then defamed her for it. He just talked about Hillary not being able to satisfy her husband. He just makes these comments and does these things because he loves women and sees them as his equals. That sounds legit for sure.
They've abandoned the working people of America. They've abandoned the middle. They've now been taken over by California liberals who want the Green New Deal, electric cars, ban plastic straws. She wants to take away red meat. They're now going to institute government.
Are you saying that because you're associating her with?
No, those are the things she said. These are the things that
Green
she's
New
all
Deal
campaigned
policies?
for. These are all the things
To take away red meat.
Kamala has campaigned for: reducing the red meat, banning plastic straws, the Green New Deal. She's now talking about government price controls for groceries. She wants government housing. She's going to tell you where you have to live. These are all part of her radical
There
socialist
is
policies.
government housing already exists.
This is so cooked that it's actually hilarious. And this is why when those on the left talk policies, it's always beneficial because it forces Republicans to show how maniacal and much of lunatics they are and have to say the most stupid things about communism and how it's all radical that you want to help people. Like, oh no, she wants to expand government housing so there's less homeless people. How radical. And her housing plan is to help $25,000 worth of down payment support for first-time homeowners and a little more if they're the first generation in their family to own a home. Construction of over 3 million new housing units. Why would she ever do that? And tax incentives for companies to build starter homes instead of mansions. How are the rich people going to buy more mansions? Like taking on corporations and major landlords so they can't increase rent prices or house prices to the moon while sitting on vacant properties and preventing investors from buying home in bulk, marking up the prices and leaving them vacant until someone is willing to pay the price. It's communism. That's Marxism. I mean, she wants to price control corporations to stop them from price gouging. Literally, the only people angry at this are corporations or those who are invested into corporations. I mean, Republicans will unironically be like, look how bad the prices are. And when a Democrat is like, well, yeah, let's stop corporations from doing that so, everyone can afford their groceries and stuff. They're just like, no, it's Marxism. You have to let the corporations do that. But it's also a problem. And the scariest of all, paid family leave. I mean, it only polls over 80% among Americans, so that must be socialism. I mean, the red meat thing is almost too stupid to address, but she's never said anything like that. What she actually said is we should do more to educate people on the negative effects of red meat, both environmentally and to their health. And Republicans are freaking out about people being more educated because to them, anything other than economically right fascism is radical, even when it's just a move closer to center, a move closer to where most countries in the world already are.